All right, Taurus, what can you guys expect for Sagittarius season? So, like the first half of Sagittarius season, you guys are kind of large and in charge, right? You are in control, you are staying grounded, you are taking control of everything because your ruling planet Venus is in Capricorn. But then on the 6th of December, I believe, it will move into Aquarius, and first thing it's going to do is conjunct Pluto. So there's going to be like a big change, big like intense transformation that happens there. And because Aquarius' ruling planet is retrograde in your sign right now, this could really start to shake some things up and have you seeing things a little differently, kind of throwing you out of your comfort zone a little bit. So just be ready for that about halfway through. Things are going to get a little weird for Taurus energy during that time. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull you guys some cards. Let's see, Sagittarius season as a whole for Taurus. And remember, Mercury is going to station retrograde, Mars is going to station retrograde. So we've also got all of this like reviewing the past and bringing all this old stuff up and backtracking during this time. And if you do have placements at like 0 degrees of Taurus, personal placements, you are likely to see some major shakeups happen around, could start happening any moment because Pluto will be squaring that placement. And that is rough from personal experience because I also have, a 0 degree placement in Scorpio. So I'm also facing that square myself. It is incredibly intense. You've already had it probably a couple times. This is your last one. You're closing it out and you'll be done with it. So at least be thankful for that one. Okay. So Sagittarius season as a whole for Taurus. Oh, yikes. I didn't like that one. 9 of Swords. So this is a little nightmarish, a little anxiety ridden. It's probably bringing up some old stuff that's really shaking you up and throwing you out of your comfort zone. And we know, Taurus loves to have that comfort zone. Taurus is where we always go for our comfort. So as a whole, might be a very difficult time for you guys to process. Just make sure that you're taking time for yourself to take care of yourself during that time, and you're not allowing it to get too deep into your energy. What is something unexpected for Taurus? So we have an 8 of Wands. So things are likely going to be moving pretty fast for you guys. You're going to see a lot of stuff pick up, which could also be throwing off your stability. Sometimes when stuff starts moving really kind of quickly, it gets very chaotic and it's very difficult to process sometimes. Trying to think, does anything, I don't think Uranus, give me 1 second, let me check. Okay, so the only thing that stations direct during Sagittarius season is Neptune. Now, Venus in Capricorn it's being ruled by that Saturn in Pisces. Saturn is now direct, so it is being a little on the karmic side. It's there's some potential here for like revealing of like shadiness, shady behavior. There's definitely a lot of people doubling down on like shady behavior and manipulation and gaslighting and things like that, particularly if they've been called out for it, if you've caught them in it. And honestly, you guys having Uranus retrograde in your sign, you are having a lot of aha moments. And now your ruling planet is in Saturn and you're wanting to kind of lay down the law with it. You may be getting a lot of pushback from other people if you're like trying to call them out on some shady behavior or lies or manipulation or gaslighting or just being sneaky in general, okay? So really kind of keep that in mind. But it seems like you're going to see a lot of stuff happen at once, and it could be a bit overwhelming. How to stay grounded. How can Taurus stay grounded during Sagittarius season? Little bug. This is like the second difficult one in a row. 5 of Pentacles. It's like telling you to accept the areas that you're feeling like cast out. Make sure that you're feeling your emotions, okay? And a lot of people don't talk about this, but Taurus is just as bad as Scorpio is about hiding those emotions, pretending like everything's okay, not wanting to show those emotions out to the world. Make sure that you're taking the time to feel your feelings, make sure that you're taking the time to acknowledge any depression or sadness that may be coming up and working through them, okay? An important emotion. Dear Lord, you guys, I'm so sorry. 5 of Cups. There's regret. There's my brain do the words. Like grieving here. There's definitely some form of loss, and I would say this probably has a lot to do with Venus hitting Pluto at that 0 degrees of Aquarius. Now, this actually happened back in February as well, so it was right around Valentine's Day, actually. But I believe Uranus was direct at the time, so it would have been more like outward, outside of you. And now it's, with it retrograde, it's more like internal, shaking you up, more internal, emotional inside, dealing with all of that in your head. So you really might see a lot just kind of pop off with that Uranus there, but it might be very like emotionally draining. So make sure that you're taking the time to process things as they come up during this time. Something that will inspire. Something that will inspire Taurus. Oh. The World and the Hangman. So there's some, there it is. You guys see this coming. You already know that this is coming, but I think maybe you're being a little optimistic about it. This is something you've been waiting for, but now that it's here, it's not happening quite the way that you thought it would, right? Like, it's closing out a cycle, and it's a cycle that you've known needs to close out, but maybe you weren't preparing yourself for it quite as well as you thought, or you thought it would work out a different way, maybe being, like I said, a little more optimistic about it than reality really has. Oh, that's what it is. That's Saturn, because your ruling planet is in Capricorn, and Saturn being in Pisces. It's really asking you to be realistic. It's asking you to, not be delulu, not get overly optimistic about things, not leaning into, don't let your imagination get away with you. And you may be seeing these things come up and reality's hitting you, right? And that's a little karmic there when that happens. And it can be a bit devastating if you've really had your hopes up about something. So, but what this is doing is it's ending out a cycle. And maybe this is something that's your intuition's already kind of been tickling your brain about. So there is this inspiration here of, okay, finally this is over with. Yes, it's hard, but now I can move forward from here, right? So because this is the inspiration, things are starting to move. Whether it's difficult or not, you're seeing things move forward. Spirit guides speaking. This is definitely a rough one here. Spirit guides speaking to Taurus during this time. It's kind of bugs. This is my 5th house, actually. Spirit guides speaking. 7 of Wands. Make sure that you're protecting yourself. You've got your guard up. Sometimes when you're going through it, you might have folks around you that are helpful because they want something from you. They see you in a vulnerable position and they want to come in and be like, here, let me help you. And in reality, they're just taking advantage of the fact that maybe your mind isn't quite so clear right now, so they can manipulate you in that situation. So make sure you've got good, strong boundaries and you're protecting yourself from anyone that may be trying to take advantage of a vulnerable situation. And how to best support yourself. Let's see. How can Taurus best support themselves? Yeah, so when Venus moves into Aquarius, it's actually going to be a mutual reception with Uranus retrograde. So this could be a very awakening time period. And that awakening can be very uncomfortable because those two planets are really going to be speaking loudly to each other during that time, okay? How to support yourself, we have Knight of Swords. Make sure you say what you got to say. Don't hold back. If someone's being a terrible person, tell them they're being a terrible person. There's no reason to sugarcoat things when somebody is a terrible person. That's all there is to it. You don't have to spare the feelings of someone who would not spare yours, okay? Bottom of the deck is Three of Swords, so there is like an underlying heartache here. Some type of betrayal that's coming up here during this time. Let's pull some clarifiers. Oh, for our Nine of Swords, we've got the Chariot and the Ace of Cups. Now, I got a sneaky suspicion I know where this is heading. The Emperor and Six of Wands. Huh. With the Eight of Wands on the bottom. So this is like... So like I said, don't allow people to take advantage of you being in a difficult situation, because this is a really rough energy to be in right here. This is going to be very devastating type of energy. And we've got the Emperor with the Six of Wands and the Chariot with the Ace of Cups here. This is like somebody thinking that they've won something, and they're like coming in and they're like, here, let me help you. I can take care of you. It's like almost like somebody from the past coming back around. Like they were just waiting for you to be in a tough situation for them to come in and be like, here, I can help you. I can remember, Mercury is going to be retrograde and Mars is going to go retrograde as well. The people from the past coming back is absolutely a thing right now. And it's like somebody who was just looking for an end to get what they, to get what they want so that they can run in with their, cup of love, the Ace of Cups here, to offer to help you. So if you are finding yourself in a very stressful situation, something bad happens, something devastating happens, watch out for that person that comes running in to save the day, okay? They may not be there with the best of intentions. Let's pull what is influencing this time period for Taurus. What is influencing this time? And I think it's not, like, it's going to be different for everybody. So it's not really giving me, like, this is emotional, relationship, financial, but there's something here that is just throwing off your sense of comfort and your stability here. And safety. I'm hearing safety too, so be careful with that. What is influencing Sagittarius season? I don't know. Okay. Patience. Yeah. Be patient. Make sure that you are slowing down and you're not reacting. You absolutely say what you got to say. Stand up for yourself. Keep your boundaries strong. But be patient with yourself. Definitely, if you need help, reach out for help. A lot of times when we're in that Nine of Swords energy, we definitely need to reach out for help from others, emotional help. Just be careful of who you're reaching out to. Make sure that they are trusted people. Don't get angry with yourself. And Taurus has a very stoic type of energy about it, and we want to oftentimes pretend like everything is fine, and we'll get angry at ourselves if we feel too many emotions or something along those lines. So really be patient with yourself. Don't get angry with yourself for feeling upset in upsetting situations, okay? What is your advice? This is like the universe telling you to slow down, to be honest with you. Which slowing down is kind of your thing, but you guys have been having to move way too slow for way too long almost. So your advice, we have boundaries and gratitude. So again, boundaries, make sure you're protecting yourself, you're taking good care of yourself, you're protecting your peace. And then gratitude, being thankful for what's left behind. You might find that maybe your social life wasn't as great as you thought it was. Maybe you only had 1 or 2 people in your realm that were there for you or something along those lines. But be grateful for what is left behind. Venus conjuncting Pluto could see some major destruction somewhere in your life, particularly in your social life, any groups that you're involved in, your community, work, coworkers, things like that. So take care of yourself. If you see that big destruction happen, again, you may have seen some, at least a preluding to this back in February, the last time that this conjunction happened in the same place. So this is like closing that out, okay? So just take care of yourself if you do see these things come up. We do have acceptance on the bottom here as well. So again, I think this is something that you already know is coming, but maybe you've been fighting it, you've been digging your heels in the sand, and it's coming up on a point where you're not going to be able to fight it anymore. It's going to be there whether you like it or not, and accepting it is the best way to move through it. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're being kind to yourself during that time.